Hello, Career Leadership Collective. I'm Keith Smith. I'm the Assistant Director for Career Readiness at Kent State University, and I work in the Career Exploration and Development Department. With me today is Dr. Stephen Craig from the Department of Resident Services. He's the Assistant Director for Training and Staffing. Today we're going to share with you our innovation, and I simply want to get right into it. Stephen, why don't you tell us about the problem that you were faced?
Well, I work in resident services, as you said, and it's a large department. We have about 450 employees, and that's counting our 300 student workers that we have or so. I think that it might be more. But one of the things that we had been dealing with was because we have a big variety of different positions on campus, we have RAs, we have custodial workers, we have students who do locks and that kind of thing. We were having issues with coming up with outcomes that were broad enough that all of our students felt like they could identify with and be connected with. And so as a group, every time we came together as supervisors, we weren't able to agree on what outcomes we wanted. That was until we saw an email actually from yourself about the NACE competencies, understanding that they were about career readiness, and that was an objective that we wanted for all of our students. So basically we decided to adopt the NACE competencies and allow them to kind of permeate throughout all of our different practices.
Okay, oh, that's great. What innovation did you come up with to address that problem?
Well, basically we first adopted the NACE competencies, and then we looked at how can we put them into the job descriptions, which you also gave us a template on how to do that, and I believe it came from NACE. Once we started there, it kind of was a trickle effect throughout the whole rest of the processes. So we changed our job descriptions so that each one of the responsibilities fell under a NACE competency. We made our agreements connect to that job description, and then we made sure that students' training, onboarding, their professional development, and their evaluations all connected back to the NACE competencies, which made for a much more smooth learning and developmental experience for the students, where we had had a very disjointed process before, where they could be evaluated and they could be trained on and they could be onboarded on multiple different outcomes that didn't really make sense to them. And so them knowing that they were getting these 8 competencies and them being tied to career readiness really makes sense for them.
Oh, that's outstanding. What were some of the results that you've seen this year?
Well, it's been a culture change for our students. So we did kind of a soft rollout at the beginning of the year, and then we've kind of rolled things out as we've kind of put them together. And what we've seen is that the students have really understood more about what we're trying to do. We used to do professional development trainings with the students, and they didn't understand why we were doing them because they were saying they weren't tied to their job descriptions. Whereas now we can say we are doing these professional development things, different activities, because we really want to help you to be more career ready, and these different competencies tie back to that.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. And I can certainly add, so this year we saw that you had about 350 student employees from 82 different majors and 11 different colleges from Kent State, so that's just fantastic scaling. What are your future plans?
Our plans are to develop more resources because we do professional development for students online. So there's online courses that they can take and different resources we have online via Blackboard. But we also have in-person trainings that they do as a group, and we put lesson plans together for their supervisors, and they go through those different lesson plans. So the goal is to give more resources and more direction to our supervisors, as well as more training, and then also to be assessing those different things. So we already are assessing and evaluating students throughout the year at the end of each semester, but we're hopeful to do that during each one of those trainings as well. So if we did a training on leadership competency, then we would do an evaluation or an assessment on the students for that as well. So we can kind of show incremental learning and development.
Oh, great. I look forward to seeing those future objectives come to fruition. So that's Kent State University and our submission for the Innovation Showcase. Thank you so much for the Career Leadership Collective for having us present and offer this opportunity to us. Thank you so much.